Okay, so as you guys probably already know, last week Kodansha had a bunch of licensing issues on their end. So because of that, we didn't get any of the English translations to the mangas that they published, not the official ones anyway. The fan translation still came out, and I did read the fan translation to chapter 196, but because I heard that Kodansha was going to be releasing 196 and 197 together this week, I decided to hold off on doing a review for that chapter because of the fact that even though we got 3 members of the Eden Zero crew pretty much set up to have death flags in the last chapter, I immediately, as soon as I got done reading it, did not believe any of those death flags, and I knew that chapter 197 will start to unravel the truth behind them and reveal that basically Hero was kind of just trolling us. Because even though there have been a lot more deaths in Eden Zero than there have been in a lot of the other series that Hero has written previously, one thing I've kind of realized is that if he is going to kill a character off, they're going to die near the ending of an arc. And as far as I'm aware, or as far as I can tell based on the story and the pacing for this arc, we're at best maybe halfway through it. I would say maybe close to 60% done, but we're not at the ending yet. And we know that we're not at the ending because of the fact that we haven't had Shiki and Ziggy even come face to face to each other, let alone start to fight. And we already know that Hero confirmed that in this arc, we're going to put to bed the fight between the two of them. So until that happens, until we get the two of them meeting face to face, we know we're not anywhere near the ending. So by the end of the chapter 196, we had 3 main members of the EZ crew potentially either die or have death flags placed on them. We had Homura being discovered by Shiki possibly dead after losing her fight against Brigadine. We had Sister being defeated by Clown after he summoned some kind of like dragon dog head thing to eat her. And then we had, even though in chapter 195, Herman very easily defeated Killer, as a last measure and kind of like a little trap, he turned himself into mist and basically infected her with a virus that's potentially going to turn her either into a Dark Star or just kill her. And like I already said, by the time I was done reading chapter 196, I immediately wrote all 3 of these things off as stuff that are not going to stick. I mean, maybe if one of them happened. Like if one of them happened in a chapter, like if we had Shiki finding Homura after losing her fight against Brigadine, I might have believed that. If we had Hermit being affected by Killer's virus, I might have believed that. If we had Sister being eaten by that dog thing that Clown summoned, I might have believed that if just one of them happened in the chapter. But the fact that all 3 happened one after the other at the end of the chapter, I immediately realized that, alright, this is kind of just Hero throwing us a false death flag to kind of throw us off base and making us think that one of these characters are going to die. And just like I figured, in chapter 197, we immediately started throwing away the first of the 3 death flags. So the chapter actually picks up with us picking up with the ending of the fight between Clown and Sister, and basically after he summoned that dog thing to eat her, he immediately turns to this door that has the number 3173 written on it, which, if you guys read Hiro Mashima's first major work, Rave Master, you will know those numbers because of the fact that the main female character in that series, Ellie, got her name from those numbers by reading it on her, I believe it was tattooed on her arm, reading it upside down and thinking that was actually her name. And you know that those numbers actually had significance to the overall series. I don't remember if those numbers actually played a role in Fairy Tail at all at any point, but this number is actually something that is a reoccurring thing in Hiro Mashima series. And behind that door is Ethereon, which is something else that's carried over from Rave Master and Fairy Tail over into the series. And if you guys remember from those series, you know that this is pretty dangerous stuff. Now, the first time we saw this door was way back when Homura was officially inducted as the replacement for Valkyrie, because Witch took her here and told her that, you know, there's something very dangerous behind the door, and in order to open it, all 4 Shining Stars had to give like a passcode or some kind of key. Now, I'm sure that Clown has some kind of way to bypass that because Ziggy built him and he built everything on the Eden Zero ship, so he probably gave him some kind of key to open it himself. And the only thing we know about it is that apparently it will give Ziggy the ability to rework the universe, so basically erasing all human life and replacing it with robotic life. So yeah, we don't know exactly what its power is or what it looks like or what it can do besides that. But the main question I have is whether or not Clown's actually going to be able to get off the EZ with the Ethereon. Because one of 2 things can end up happening. Either Sister gets back up before he gets the Ethereon and she stops him, or she gets up too late after he's already left the ship with the Ethereon. And I'm kind of leaning more towards the idea of her getting up too late and him actually making it off the ship with it. Because in order for us to really learn what it can do, we need to see Ziggy have it. We need to see Ziggy get his hands on it. And plus, because of the fact it's already been kind of implied, even though I didn't believe it going into this arc, but it's been pretty much shown that Shiki and Ziggy might be pretty much on par with each other at this point. In order to make it an uphill battle for Shiki in this fight, we're going to have Ziggy get some kind of power up, and this might be the best way to do it. And then pretty much the entire rest of the chapter is a flashback showing us the entire fight between Brigadine and Homura, which I gotta say, out of all the fights we had so far in this arc, might be my favorite drawn one that Hero's done. But anyway, we see that even when Homura activates her overdrive, she still can't break through Brigadine's defenses. And we also end up finding out in this chapter from Brigadine that after he got defeated by Jaguar in the last arc, Ziggy rebuilt him to be stronger than Jaguar. which is actually something that's actually caused a lot of controversy in the fandom. Because after Homura gets backed into a corner, she realizes something about Brigadine's attack patterns, and basically whenever he's attacking, his defense lowers a lot. So basically at the end of the fight, when Brigadine plans on killing her with his last attack, she decides to put all her chips into one last attack on him as well, and the two of them clash, landing their attacks on each other. Homura gets knocked into that pillar thing we saw her in the beginning of, or at the end of the last chapter, and as soon as we come out of the flashback, we find out that apparently Homura's attack managed to cut Brigadine to pieces, so he actually ends up dying, and we get revealed that Homura is actually still alive. And we actually get this nice moment between her and Shiki where he pretty much just tells her, "You did a good job." But yeah, Homura defeating Brigadine in this chapter is actually what caused the controversy because of the fact that he said that he's actually been redesigned and built to be stronger than Jaguar. So by that logic, it's safe to say, or people are assuming, that by her defeating Brigadine, this meant that Homura had elevated herself to being stronger than Jaguar, which put her at the level of an OSG and OSI, which for some reason outraged a lot of the fandom. Now personally, I don't think that Homura has been elevated to that level just yet, because of the fact that we know that her plan was to wait for Brigadine to lower his defenses in order to attack him. That's the only reason why she won, because she was able to attack in that exact moment where his defenses were the lowest. Now, if she had defeated him when he was at like his max defense, then yeah, I would definitely say that she's elevated to herself to being stronger than Jaguar. But she didn't. She had to wait for him to lower his defenses. Although that being said, if any member of the Z crew besides Shiki would actually be elevated to the level of an OSG and OSI, I would definitely say that Homura is the most likely option. But anyway guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.